Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Kayak DIY. Today we're heading off to Matlacha Island, Florida. We were invited by Hobie to film their latest kayaks. Matlacha Island in Florida is one of Florida's best kept little secrets. It's positioned right off the coast of Cape Coral, Florida and Fort Myers, Florida in the Gulf. It has colorful little shops. It's an artsy community, and it has some of the best fishing in the area. In fact, it is an old fisherman's village. So this event wouldn't have been possible without Tiny Village in Matlacha, Florida. MatlachaTinyVillage.com has several tiny homes that are available to rent for vacationers, and they hooked us up with accommodations. So another awesome company that showed up to the event was Aftco Fishing Products. They make some of the best clothing that I have ever worn, and they're really cool because they actually have a 10% pledge towards fishing conservation. 10% of their profits go towards fishing and conservation efforts. That is awesome. When I immediately arrived at the Tiny Village, I noticed some different colors of kayaks in the Passport series and some new inflatable kayaks, as well as some familiar kayaks like this Hobie PA 360 that I filmed earlier. But I noticed many of these kayaks were rigged with accessories I had never tried before. Here's a little bit of a recap though on the Hobie Pro Angler 360, which is pretty much to me one of their flagship kayaks that they have, because it just packs so much versatility into one package. This Pro Angler 360 has not just a rudder control, but it has a control for the drive. You'll see those gears spinning. Those gears engage these gears on the drive, and it allows the drive to spin, and that lets you pedal in any direction. Also, if you hit an obstacle underwater, those fins kick up just like that. And when you start pedaling again, the fins will kick forward and you can start moving forward again. So this alone to me told me that this company is kind of in a league of its own in terms of innovation. Look at the maneuverability of this kayak. How you can maneuver a 12-foot to 14-foot kayak and basically turn on a dime. That is astonishing. I had so much fun testing out this kayak when I was at ICAST. Check this out. So he's going to come in now, and then he's going to spin and pedal sideways and basically parallel park the kayak. No other kayak can do that I know of. But really, it's not just the 360 drive and the ability to position yourself easily in tight quarters, but rather the fact that it's the total package. The Hobie Pro Angler series was already awesome, but the 360 series adds that extra little bit that just made this the total package. Hobie kayaks in general are easy to rig up sonar on, they're easy to rig up live wells, and they just make a low maintenance, very fishable craft. So as I mentioned, some new accessories showed up at the Hobie event, like this Lowrance Elite FS, which stands for fishing system. It has so much features packed into it. You can control PowerPoles, you got side imaging, you got live sonar, and I'm using the generic terminology. They call it different stuff. They call it like active imaging, which is basically side imaging here. But it is so crisp, the detail is. Look at this live sonar here, which they call active target. So in real time, I was able to actually see that fish strike the lure, which is amazing. Rigging up a fish finder on a Hobie kayak is super easy. They have through-hull fittings that allow you to run your wires into the hull, and some of their kayaks have this retractable transducer plate, which they call the Guardian, and it allows you to mount the high-end fish finders below the hull so they can get a good crisp view, but it also protects them. So basically we have the Passport, the Outback, the iTrek inflatables, the 360s, and the Compass. Hobie Compass is one of their lower priced pedal kayaks along with this Hobie Passport 12. And in prior videos I actually tested out the Hobie Passport 10, and I'll show you what that looks like here right now, and you can get a look at that. So here's a look at the Hobie Passport 10 in a previous episode when I tested it. You can see that it had the accessories for the bimini top and for the sail, because most of the Hobie kayaks you can actually sail and you can mount the biminis on. These kayaks just have a ton of rigging options. The Passport 10 was just so quick and responsive in maneuvering tight spaces. So if you look at the design in the Passport series of Hobie kayaks, you'll notice that it's very flat. There's no freeboard really, and there's really not much rocker up in the bow. It's very flat, and that means that there's very low, if any, wind resistance. So you don't get thrown around by the wind much on this kayak, and that makes it very fast on the water. But if you were to be going through waves and a lot of other things, it could be a little bit more of a wet ride with that hull design. But I really did enjoy it, and it allowed me to really cover a lot of ground when I was fishing.
Oh, yeah, fish on. We're on the Hobie Passport. Oh, come on. Come on, what do we got? Woo. Oh, we almost lost him. Whoa. Oh. Oh, what's he eating? What's he eating? Woo. Oh, look at that. He just ate a blue crab claw. Wow. That's a soft shell, or either that or he gummed the heck out of it, because this thing's all mushy, but that's a blue crab claw. Everything eats crab. That is a lesson. Whew. Look at that little guy. Yeah, this little H-pack, H-crate here. That H-crate is handy.
So when you end up getting a Hobie Passport, it's kind of a blank slate. You have some track mounts that you can mount various accessories like rod holders, fish finders, and various other items. But for the most part, it's a very bare bones kayak. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of their higher priced fishing kayaks, but it gets the job done, and it's lightweight and fast, and I like that. So out of all the kayaks that Hobie brought, I was super excited that they brought their inflatable kayaks. So they just released that they're going to be producing a series of inflatable kayaks, and you can see them right here. The first in the lineup is the Mirage iTrek 9. It is their smallest, and it is an ultralight. It weighs only 20 pounds, and it holds 350 pounds. They also make this iTrek 11 that you see here, and that holds a whopping 400 pounds and weighs in at only 28 pounds. And as you see in their promo video, they have a tandem and even a 4-person pedal drive setup. The tandem version holds 600 pounds and weighs 45 pounds, and the 4-person kayak holds 1,000 pounds of weight and weighs 78 pounds only. That is crazy. I am so excited to try this out. A lot of people don't think that inflatables are durable, but as you can see in this video here, I ran over my inflatable paddleboard several times actually with my truck, and that same inflatable paddleboard actually sat out in the sun for 4 months inflated, and it was perfectly fine. No damage was noted, and I'm super excited. So I'm going to try that iTrek 11, and then I'm going to try that iTrek 9 that you see there, and we'll see how they do. First off is the iTrek 11. This one is the one that holds 400 pounds of weight, and it weighs in at only 28 pounds. As you can see here, it moves across the water really smooth. I actually forgot I was even on an inflatable.
So on this particular inflatable kayak, we have the H-crate on the back. The H-crate has my rod, my fishing net, has some tackle in the middle, and pretty sweet setup. So in terms of controlling this craft, you have your rudder, and that rudder has a little, almost like umbilical cord, they call it, and it runs all the way to the back and to the rudder. And then you have this little cord here that's clipped to the seat, and that's what makes your rudder go up and down. So that's your up haul and down haul for the rudder. Got a spot here for your paddle. And yeah, you got obviously the Mirage Drive. Now look how shallow we are. You can see the bottom. I mean, we're in some pretty shallow stuff. Because you have the fin-based pedal drive system, you're able to keep those fins on the underside of the hull, and you can run really shallow. One of the things I can actually mention right now on this particular inflatable by Hobie is the fact that you have these side sponsoons kind of here, and there is a ton of stability. Like, I don't honestly think I would ever flip this over. Check out all the space on this. To me, this is the ultimate setup right here. Ultimate. Love it. So we found another little trail here in the mangroves. I'm trying to see where it's leading to. But every once in a while you can find some big fish hiding back here. So that's what I was trying to look for. I saw one cruising, but he got around me and I think he left. Do we go left or do we go right?
I like this kayak so much I'm intentionally trying to get lost. Then I don't have to give it back.
Oh, we got one. We got one. What do we got? What do we got? Woo! Yeah! Hey, check it out. We got ourselves a sea trout here on the inflatable Hobie pedal kayak. Woo! Let's get them back in the water here. Go be free. There you go. Oh, there he goes. Just happened to notice, what is it? Glass cleaner. Yeah, so anytime you're out on the water, try to clean up your waterways. Hey, we're gonna race the Hobie boat. Well, I redeemed myself. I caught some sea trout at least.
As I was heading back in to go try out the ultralight iTrek 9, which is the smaller, shorter version of what I'm on now, I ended up coming across Chris Woodward, who's a professional angler and writer for Sport Fishing Magazine. You can find that at sportfishingmag.com. Chris Woodward was out on the ultralight iTrek 9, and her and I got talking because I was filming this clip here, and I was like, wow, you are barely having to pedal and you are moving so fast across the water. And she agreed. The responsiveness also of that steering control system, it really caught our attention, and she'll show that to you here now, how quick you can turn.
That's a pretty quick turn. 360 and back on track.
The iTrek 9 Ultralight and the iTrek 11 that we were both on, they both came with the Mirage Drive GT with kick-up fins. It doesn't have a reverse setting. But when you have a turning radius that tight, you don't need reverse. So at this event, I was able to test out that Hobie Pro Angler 360 again. I was able to try out the Outback, the Compass, some of the kayaks that I was familiar with for several years, and the Passport. But really what stole the show for me was the inflatables. The inflatable iTrek series, to me, is the best performing pedal driven kayak that I have been on. It was fast, it was responsive in turning, and it was super stable and easy to stand up on. Carrying it was a breeze. I can honestly cannot think of a single reason not to fall in love with the iTrek series. If you want to learn more about Hobie kayaks, check out my playlist here on the left. If you want to watch some of my latest and favorite adventures, click the video on the right.